Okay. Right, so first thing first. Plan of action.
Yo, yo, yo.
Ooh. Yo, sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah, that's right.
You alright? How are you?
Alive.
So it is alive. I love that.
I'm hitting the bare minimum. I'm getting a passing grade today. What about you?
Yeah, I'm alright to be fair. I made a change to the climb. We now do some motion warping, but we now warp very well. Because of the basically all the changes we made in thinking we should scrap the motion warping ended up making it so that the motion warping works really well, ironically. So with those changes made, it's some decent behavior now, actually. It gives us a lot more control over the actual final point because now we know it's definitely going to be on the ledge.
Does that mean you don't get that weird thing anymore where the animation reaches, but the hand is like 6 inches short of the ledge?
Yeah, or even worse, when the feet is just off the wall, right, and then it has to take a step to get onto the wall. It just doesn't happen anymore. So really positive change, quite frankly. And you get, because what I then can do now is I can blend out the second we land, which gives you way more responsiveness. So you can actually actually like when you what's it called? Yeah, when you land, you immediately get control, so you can start turning straight away. So if you want to balance on a wall or something, obviously right now it's quite hard to do it unless you're moving very slowly or the animation is right. But what we're basically going to do is, I was speaking to Dad about this yesterday. We're gonna add like this is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna add like a contextual trace to determine how wide the wall is, and if it is a really thin wall, you're basically just gonna stick it, right? Like I'm just gonna make him stick it. I'm just gonna pick an animation that is a stick one, and if it's not a thin wall, then I'm gonna pick an animation that's not a stick one, that preserves momentum. But because of the new change and because we blend out a landing, you get way more control over where you end up going and stuff. So it's a lot more responsive in that sense. My only worry is about coverage, but that's whatever. Coverage can be a little bit shitter now because we do warp to the position, so we can afford a little shitter coverage. But we don't want to compromise on that because that's the only thing that's making the warp look almost non-existent, right? Because our actual matching, our speed match, distance match, everything is really good. Like, so with that all matched together, the warp is like almost non-existent, right? It's pretty much just the Z warp, but it does that little to get onto the ledge for us. Yeah,
This
bit is
good.
much better. I'll just What's the first thing I want to add is let's add the detection. How's your stuff coming along?
Yeah, I'm scared now. I don't know why I ever volunteered to do the UMG. I hate it.
It's the worst thing in the world, man. I fucking hate that shit.
It's
just
so
so shit.
complicated.
It's so shit. It's it
And
just
like
is shit.
I basically so because I had the settings menu more or less working. Like well, no, not more or less. It was working. But I've learned more since and I was like, it's absolutely hideous. I don't like it. I'm just gonna scrap it, start again from a better foundation. And
Hmm.
even like even having learned more, I've started really getting into it now and I'm like, God, it's just so messy. It's
It's
so
so messy,
complicated.
man. So
It's I
messy.
can't for the life of me keep it clean.
Yeah, it's tough because it's also like for well, one of the things that's always annoying for me is that it's very blueprint heavy, the UMG stuff, which makes
Yeah.
it more difficult to communicate between code C++ and because then it's like for you, right, just to get any player variables which should be held by the player, right, you always have to be like get the SPP character, pass to this thing, and then get the function, and then set it as it's just like fucking hell, just
There is
just
so much casted back and
so
forth
much. Yeah, that's what I mean.
everywhere.
It's just like just fucking just let me set it in code, and then give you the value, right, and then you just get the value, and then you plug it in as whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same with anim blueprints, right? They're super super blueprint heavy.
Unfortunately.
So,
I was chatting to Dad the other week and he was saying about like for, because I was asking him why he chose Unreal for this, and it was like because mostly a new team and it was just wanted something that everyone could pick up and work on.
mm,
And we was talking about for like the next project after SPP to have just like our own engine.
yeah. Yeah, that's a whole fucking thing, though. Isn't it? That's a whole
Yeah, but
ass.
you'd have so much more control over it.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, Devon and Engine isn't. Yeah, that's a fucking need a big team for that.
Hmm.
um, a lot of money
But
in
Dad
it.
was saying he had his own engine for a while, so he might already have the foundations for a really good one anyway.
Yeah, Unreal's just so good because it's like there is a lot. Like it does a lot, right? That's the thing. It does do a lot for you.
Yeah,
Um, it's one thing that
it
it's like
does.
fairs. It's like shit, but it's not too bad. Let's say, so I already do this. Let's, okay, I already have a function for it. So let me just change this. Calculate surface length. Oh, the surface width. Maybe. We'll just rename the variables. I think rather than wall impact point, I was hyper specific. What's the video? He's walking on his own. Well, that's all place again. Let's change these around. Let's call this now. Um, start point. Start point. With, I don't want to call it with direction. I guess with direction makes sense. Direction. Hey Hush, thanks for the sub. Let's go just call it direction. Maximum width. Oh, because this isn't necessarily, or actually returns the width. Oh yeah, maximum width. Hate that I did it like this, but let's call it. Drop off offset, drop off height. I guess we say like minimum drop off height, maximum drop off height. Yeah. Yeah. Minimum. Nice. Okay, so I'll go in here. Do we say I0, yeah, to the maximum width, whatever. Plus whatever. Line trace single, character owner, style point plus direction. Because I actually need to get this value, so it has to be precise. I think you know what, let's just do so it's not necessarily go down vector. Then the minimum ledge height. See, I don't like that. Minimum ledge height. Did I change? I literally changed the value. Yeah, so then we got yeah, then we have our maximum drop off height, nice. Cool, and then we say right, if we don't have a blocking hit, return I, otherwise keep going. Return -1. Cool. And if we don't hit any point, then we know between that there is no ground. And if, yeah, cool. Cool. This actually works now. So what we can do, basically say, let's upgrade our ledge trace. Actually, we don't need to do that because we found a ledge. Now we just need to. That's in a check before. That's a filter. It's trace data, right? Because we might want to use that in a couple places. What eye do we pick, stuff like that. So it's probably worth. Probably worth actually.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it's probably worth. Probably is worth checking every frame. But I feel like it's a performance overhead for no reason. I think we can just fire it when we need it. Because I don't want it to go from the ledge point. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. We do it as a filter. No, we should store that. For now, let's just do it for the clones. Let's store it in. Where's all these tabs? Let's store it here. Bit of a ball, right? We want to know whether or not we're climbing a narrow wall. I think. Where's the best place to be? Hey, Noma, how are you?
Sup, Doctor?
Yes, we're climbing a narrow wall. Yeah, we'll fully face it. Yeah, let's do this.
It's about time. You've been slacking, Noma. You need to step it up.
Kill the cloth sim as well, Noma, so it shouldn't tank your PC anymore.
Have you killed that now?
I killed on the shirt and joggers, and to be honest, it looks better. Like, it just looks
It
actually
looks
quite good.
better.
Okay, maybe not better, but it looks just good. Like, it looks just fine. I've left on the hoodie, on the hood, because why not? But I killed it on everywhere else. It actually looks right. I was surprised. Like, it doesn't look as shit as I thought.
I really thought that would break some of the immersion.
Yeah, me too. But it actually doesn't, surprisingly. And I think if you actually get a really good mesh, right, like with, and because what's interesting with that way, you can get a lot cooler clothes. Yeah, you can have a puffer, like a puffer gilet, like you can do like bags and shit. You can just
Because
do
you
a lot
don't
more
have to like
interesting.
reset the
Worried
costume
about
rules every
the
time.
cloth sim and have a shit ton of physics capsules. Ooh,
Yeah.
talk about that. He's got a nice little gaming laptop. Say Snowma. Is that 3060? Yeah, man. I mean, I'm running the 3060 in, so I can run pretty much everything on Epic. So
How are you saying that's an entry level
I know.
at 3060?
Entry level.
Better than what I've got in my PC.
No, it did. It was just too much of a performance overhead at the moment. I think we're gonna look into ways of like baking it so that it's just an animation that plays on top of on the cloth, and then you just loop in an animation on that, and then we can change which animation plays depending on your speed or velocity and stuff. So, I think that's a much more performance driven way of doing it rather than just because that real time cloth sim is just fucking. It's great. See, if you're doing something in sequencer or whatever, it's beautiful. Or you just have a cape. Like I just have the hoodie now. It's fine. But like doing the whole body, it's just yeah, performance nightmare. Ooh, let me see this. What's I gonna do now? Okay, climbing narrow wall. I don't like this. Do I put it in the trace data? It's kind of climb specific, so let me keep it there for now.
You get way price in much higher spec. Yeah. Actually, let me have a look at the R7 6000. Let's have a look at the full spec list. R7 6800.
Okay, so filter out the mode. Right. So where there's a wall
3.2.
pop run up that shit. And then we wanna.
That's pretty sick then. How much RAM you got in it? Is it 16? Asus. Asus is a good brand as well. They're sturdy as hell of laptops.
No, we've got MSI. Yeah. Asus is different. Yeah, my graphics card is an Asus.
Oh, mine's ROG, Republic of Gaming.
Yeah, 16 gig should be fine for game.
Yeah.
Yeah, your system will run pretty
Oh,
much everything.
DDR5. Yeah, there's not going to be much you're not going to be able to run on it.
Yeah,
That's well above entry level.
you'll run this at release as well, like in the settings. I think
Yeah,
once
more than
everything's
likely.
optimized, I'm pretty sure you'll run everything. And I'm pretty sure you'll run all the because basically you're going to be running it with a similar hardware to us, Devon ish, minus like the CPU and stuff. And some
I
RAM.
mean, even the CPU is not bad on it, to be honest.
It's really not, yeah.
165 hertz monitor as well. Hey, you're cruising. It's nice.
Yeah, chilling.
I need to get a work laptop, really. I'm
You know what
lugging
I
my
do as
desktop
well?
PC around.
Generally, I think when we actually start getting paid, it's one of the first things I'm gonna get. I think, just like
When we, when we actually start getting paid, I'm going to put it in as a business expense. I'm going to do it through Vids.
no, 100%. Fuck you mean? Yeah, 100%, bro. That's a dado expense for sure. Dado, here's the receipts. As a business, no, because thing is though, it's like it's because I think it's quite necessary. Because I think because
Yeah.
Because we'll probably need if we had an office space, right? Theoretically, I would probably, I don't know, I'd either, depending on which one I was going to be in more, I'd move my PC to that one, and then whichever one I was going to be in less, I just have a laptop because at least then I could travel with it, right? Because the amount of times we go somewhere and then, like, if I go to my girlfriend's or if I go on thingy, I can't ever work or do anything. But if I had a laptop that was powerful as shit, then you can just plug it in and go do your thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, because every week I'm back and forth between work and home, and I'm lugging my desktop back every time.
oh, see, there you go. That's an absolute effort.
It's
You just
such
never
a pain
want to
in
have
the-
one. Just log like the thing is, the laptop makes sense, right? You just bring the laptop because you're just using it for dev, like primary dev stuff, right? You don't need it to bloody. But like, if it can play pretty much all games, and like they say, like you can dev on a decent enough laptop. So,
oh yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I think that's actually almost a necessity. The things I want to get.
Hey, what's up, Aaron? Yeah, that playtest was fun as hell. Oops, I'm done now. And then this needs a. Yeah, like if you're ever planning on staying in one place and doing all your work from one spot, desktop's the way to go. But if you ever need to move around, you need the laptop.
I generally think for a lot of people, whether it's gaming or whatnot, for most people, a laptop is probably better. It's because of that exact reason. Like most people they're not static.
Yeah.
Like they move around a lot. I think for us, having one of each is the optimal thing because then you can do either or, right? Like, because I'd probably just end up leaving a laptop at work, right? And then if I whenever I went in the office 2-3 days a week, whatever, just work off that because you can.
See, I like desktops because I like the being able to swap out components and open it up and clean it and.
Oh yeah, that's the best part. Yeah, 100%. I need to do that today as well. I need to do a big clean on my PC.
Yeah, I need to play mine actually. Mine's a fucking mess in there right now.
I also want to upgrade. I want to add some more fans. I think some more fans and more RAM. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's what we're saying now. You can
actually.
You've really got to be a specialist
about it. It's a fucking lot of
hard.
effort.
It's not even worth the effort either. um,
Here we go. So, oh no, shit! I'm deleting things that aren't mine to delete. Surface width. Okay. So turn equals. Bit tricky this one because so let's say
really? That's kind of sick, actually. I didn't know that.
you know what? Let's do. Let's do this. Okay, so we'll say see, I don't actually do the trace manager separately. We should really pass in. Like we should know what the width is. Because this should be not. It should be ambiguous to whatever the actual thing is. It should just have. I don't want to do this in here. I really don't want to do this in here. You know what? This is wrong. Let's do this. You know what? Fuck it.
So, against.
Let's go to the far ledge. Ledge length. Interesting.
What, have you already got it worked out?
I have made a function, but apparently it's already there. Let me have a look at
Surely,
this.
surely that should be ledge depth, though, not length.
Yeah, I think it means like the length of the surface, like width, like ledge. How wide is ledge width? Um, this mother trucker.
Yeah. Oh,
Be-
okay.
Yeah, length is the wrong. It should be width if it's like how wide are we talking?
Well, really, it should be depth if you're facing it. If you're
Yeah,
facing into it. There you go. That's about all the contribution I can make to the code. You're on your own from here out. What are we doing today? Improvements, polishing, getting it ready for point one. David's improving the climbing system. I'm smashing my head against the wall with settings menu. So if this, we're going down, so if it's less than everyone a deck.
So basically, if the ledge, it would be terrible. You're sticking it enough, so you don't really need to. I don't think we should be doing calculations here. This is wrong. But surface width makes more sense. Okay. The thing is, it's really easy to do, but thinking about the best way architecturally is the worst long. Let's say surface width, and then
I misread that enum class then as E anime filter. I was like, what the fuck? What are you adding?
I guess then what this actually does allow us to do is be hyper specific with it. It could be like set a surface width value that we calculate for the surface that you're stepping onto. Like, so for different ones, the surface might be wider and whatnot. So if your surface width is greater than that one, yeah, you know what? You know what? You know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's say, yeah, let's keep surface width. Let's say, so we say if the ledge length, wait, I need to debug this value first. Give me. Let's see what it's going to give me. It gives me the right value. You're trying to find a good trail bike, as in like mountain trail or like.
What's your other type of trail?
No, because you can get like I'm thinking, because I was thinking like a little hybrid between like road trail bikes, like because I had one similar that was like you could ride on trails, but you could also ride on road, and then there's like exclusively like mountain trail, like proper jumps and shit.
Right, okay.
But I because I'm thinking of like just like a hiking trail, right? Like it's just like mud,
Yeah.
basically. But that's I
What
don't think that's a trail bike. It's a hybrid.
surely that is trail.
That's what I thought. That's what I think. Bit of both. See, that's what I mean. He's
Yeah, but
looking
that's
for.
not a
He's like,
trail anymore. That's a hybrid.
yeah. That's what. But like, that's why I got confused. That's why I was thinking of hybrid when he said trail.
Right.
But I think he also is thinking of hybrid. Weirdly enough. So wait, do you want to ride on road or is it just like exclusively trails?
Dude, I hate riding bikes on roads.
I love it. It's just so freeing. You feel like an absolute speed demon. You're actually flying.
I mean, I don't trust other drivers when I'm in a car, let alone when I'm when I don't have a metal shell around me.
Yeah, things you gotta like really, really like. I always find people that well, friends. I would say like, if you're gonna ride on the road, you gotta be really like. You almost have to command your space. You have to be a bit of a dick because you have to really like, really, really command the space around you to keep yourself safe. Because if you try and like be too, the mistake they always try and be too like timid with it, and they'll like ride right by the edge, and so that's when it gives incentive for cars to overtake you. They'll be like, "I'll try it," and then you'll realize, "Oh shit, there's a pothole or some shit." Have to come out as he's overtaking, and just like boom, or like, it's just it's always trouble.
So
But it is like, you have to like, for me, I remember the first time I ended up in an A road. And like, I was on a bike at night and cars are just beaming past you. You're just like, I'm shitting. You
Yeah,
really
fuck
shouldn't
that,
be
man.
on an A road.
Because the thing is, even if you are commanding your space and you're like in the middle of the lane, or even if you're just like
Mm,
away from the curb or whatever, you're still gonna get arseholes that try to overtake you when they can't,
100%.
when
Yeah.
like there's not enough space for it.
100%. 100%.
But
It's
the
just,
difference is if they mess up and you get rammed off the road, like say you don't have a metal shell around you.
yeah, it's true. It's so true. One thing I do like about a bike is that I've got way more. Interesting. So, okay, so the way that is done is basically if the ledge length is bigger than 60, you can, it's a big one. If not, it's a small one, which just makes sense. Something like this, stick. Go this way, however, it's not stick. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that makes a waste of changing code.
What the fuck is this? Mhm.
So we'll say here, what was the ledge length? It's giving me one old thing, 60, right? Yeah. Okay, on a 60. Let me say, well, if um there we do it. Oh, cool. So we say, well, surface width if see then it's not necessarily see this isn't hyper specific. I say surface width. Yes, we can either say give it as like a bool, or we could say um it's gonna be like um whether or not what do I want the variable and the thing to have the data table to have? The surface width of value. The word, you know. We can yeah, yeah. We can calculate that. Let's say if yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, yeah. Let's go climb up. Data reference. Damn, bless me. Um,
Bless you.
mm, there we go. Root height times surface width is 0. Beautiful. Well, I'm gonna get a proper one, then change the when we're riding like canals and trails. What maybe say everybody's do that. Yeah, see. Okay, so you do similar to what I did. I brought a road, that I can like with just thicker wheels, obviously and disc brakes, so I can ride trails, or I can ride road. It just gives you more option. That is my it handles it. I go pretty. It's a little bit heavier of a bike, but I handle roads just fine. Well, I don't have it anymore. I got rid of it. I handled roads just fine, and I did trails. I did a Peak District cycle, and where there was some trails up in there. We handled that pretty well. Cool. Climb surface width, and then we'll say cool. We elaborate every bastard.
Did you just say we need to re-elaborate every animation again?
No. Just for the I'm gonna have to do the climb. It's not. It takes like 10 minutes, but it's long. Um,
Right.
here
Did
we
I do
go.
that right?
So route height equals route height at landing. Beautiful.
No, I didn't.
Dot. Let's say climb up, climb surface width. That's going to equal, let's say,
It's such a stupid way of doing this.
for this route distance at landing route distance at end. Okay. Oh, it's depreciated. Okay. Should give us our climb surface width. Probably, maybe, hopefully. We'll see. Possibly not. Fingers crossed, I guess.
Flip a coin. Depends which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah, Jimmy. It really does. And then let's check things. Okay, so that's not active. And then this guy here, let's just kill you off. Or we can do logic. We can say, right, if ledge length
Oh,
the less
I know why. Because I'm thick.
you say the ledge
Yeah.
length greater than or equal to the what I have that if the alleged length is greater than the candidate climb up parameters dot root climb up surface width. So if the wall is longer than the surface width, yeah. So if the surface wall is like 1, the surface width needs to be like 1. That is always not going to be right because I'm actually going to calculate specific length of the wall. So we can include more animations that maybe preserve a little bit more momentum. It's going to be quite hyper specific now. But this it's more specific, but it'll be better. It's not just a ball. So actually, let me just. I don't know why I ever stopped cycling. You know, I actually really enjoyed it. It was like so much. I preferred it like tenfold to running because like obviously like in an hour, running sucks, bro. Like in an hour, I could be how many miles away, whereas running, I was like I'm 10k away, like maybe 11, 12k away at most. Like,
also, like if you're a heavier guy, running so brutal on your knees.
It's brutal, bro. Honestly.
Yeah.
I was people like, oh, let's go just do a quick 10k. I was like, bro, I want my knees for the rest of the week, man. 110k, because I can't just be jumping around.
Well, that's the funny thing is, you can't because I can do parkour and my knees are fine, but I can't do one-footed stuff because as in running and strides, I struggle with a little bit because my knees start to give out. If I can spread the impact across 2 feet, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But just all of it going on one knee.
It's one of the strengths of your joints, right? Because for now, like I can do a lot of plyometric stuff, right? In general, although I'm heavy, but it's because I built that weight up over time, and like I did it purposely. It wasn't like I was just heavy and didn't train. It was like I trained with the purpose of also knowing I was gonna be getting heavier because I was just trying to get heavier. So like my body and my muscles like got used to it, right? I take a lot of impact, so they're good. Apart from my brain, which just like started telling me like you can't be taking any more impact, and now I have to stop. But my bones are not that good. But that being said, just that weight, it is more impactful. Like in general, like you are banging more. Like if I do it too repeated, I do feel it like I just do feel it a bit more.
Yeah, 100%.
But like, you just gotta keep training it. Like if I was lighter, God, as I said, like there's a lot of sports like parkour's one of them ones. It's like similar to climbing, right? Like as a heavy guy, we can do it, but that don't mean it's optimal for us, right?
No, you got to be a lot more careful about it when we do it.
100%. It's like it's just a lot we need to be. We ain't gonna be just throwing ourselves off shit because momentum, the swing, even with cycling, right? Like you have to be more aware. You actually have to be aware of your weight. Like I remember I was cycling with some mates in the peaks, and we hit a really steep hill, and obviously we were like 3 guys. You're like, okay, I'm gonna try and let's see how fast we can clock up on our Strava, right? You know what I mean? Like who can get the highest on the Strava? So we all start going, and I was at the back, right? I was last in the camera because obviously it was a climb beforehand, so I'm obviously at the back. Once we hit the downhill, I catch up to all of them and go ahead. At this point, I'm flying to the point where I'm like, you feel a bit of a wobble, and like I'm heavy, so like this wobble to come, you need to I need to really be wobbling, right? And then the ground just, I don't know, like I look ahead of me, and it's steep, and then I see further on, I don't see like all the like the way you see your ride out, like you see the gradient like increase slightly again, decrease whatever. I just didn't see it. It just kept looking like it was going down, and that tells me that there's like a fault. There's like a little drop in terms of like it gets steeper, like, and
Oh,
goes around the corner, and I was like, So I was like, I bottled it, and so they were behind me like a distance away, and I was like, I could keep going faster, but I'm not. I've picked up way too much speed here, so I start
you're gonna get
tapping
some
on the
airtime
brakes.
coming off that.
Yeah, so literally, I start tapping on the brakes. I'm like, oh shit, tap tap tap, and I'm like, okay, I've got. So I slow down, slow down. They all slow down. Like once they saw me slow down, they're like, yeah, it must be a reason. Thank God, like as we approach, the road got really gravelly, and then there was literally like a little drop off thing. Like it was one of those ones, when it's steep and then it gets significantly steeper quickly. Like it was like that. That felt.
Yeah,
It's basically to me, it felt like a cliff. It really wasn't. Even
yeah,
going
but
down
at
it at
that
like
speed,
medium
it might as
speed,
well
I
be.
got a little bit of air, and I was just like, holy crap! If I'd have got like definitely if I'd have gone at the speed, I definitely would have like gone off my bike. There's just no chance. And those are the times where I'm like, biking is sketch, because like probably like you could die from that. Like it's one of those ones, like if you skid out, right, like there's a lot of things that, because I'm so exposed, that I could hit and just fuck myself up. Whereas in a car, you're like, okay, well, you've got protection at least. Whereas there, it's like I'm
Yeah,
coming off the bike, and then it's just Mother Nature, do your thing, really. Like see what happens.
I had
Um,
that. The electric scooters that you can
mm,
rent. I had that on one of those. A few months ago, me and my girlfriend was like, we went for like a midnight drive and walk around the lake and shit. And then we saw a couple electric scooters and we are like, yeah, fuck it, let's get it and let's go mad around the lake. And there was just this like downhill bit. It was absolutely bombing it down way faster than we should have been
yeah,
at like 2 in the morning. And then it went from completely downhill to completely flat and it just didn't curve. And we hit it just, we went flying off these things. It
yeah.
was brutal.
Fuck, man. Yeah, that shit is less sketch, man. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. Um, elaborate animation. Yeah, you got like yeah, man. You just can't be messing with nature. That's why nature is a bastard. It'll take you out when you least expect it. Why
-3.
are you not?
What?
Why are you not showing me the thing I want to see? Climb up. Right. Why are you being racist? Hmm?
Duck.
Surface weird.
How do I make that same mistake every single time I fail?
Oh, it's just a parameter. I don't need to see it in here. Um,
So why is that?
Zero point 0.8200. That's very wrong. Just very wrong. So London keyframe is 44. Right. So from there 265 to 459. That's like 200, bruv. What do you want her about? Um, 0.82. What are you calculating? Oh, I'm so stupid. I didn't change that. Wow. Très stupido.
All right. Watch that.
Yeah, man. I really, really want to learn parkour. That's my goal this year. At some point.
Do it.
Probably some. It seems like a summer thing though. I mean, I'm not really
Yeah,
trying to do it in the
but-
cold, and I don't know what I'm doing.
yeah, a little bit.
It's gonna be a long old road. That's the only thing. Although I do like. I always think the most fun part of learning sport is right at the start when you're shit, but then you get a little bit better. Um,
Oh yeah,
it's always the most fun part for me.
yeah, and then you dip for a little bit, and
Yeah,
then once you start hitting an expert stage, it comes up again. It starts being more fun.
yeah, it just does more fun. Yeah, let's do it, Noma. We'll do a little meet up. We'll practice parkour. All of us will suck, but well, I'll suck. What's up about you guys? Um,
No, I'm out of shape. I'll suck. I'll turn up though.
we get better. What is
I
this?
want to set it
10,267.
here.
Yeah, it's true. It is actually a lot more accessible now. Like they have a little parkour place in my climbing gym, but I don't know, it's something about it that I'm just like, ugh, it's just the climbing inside just doesn't interest me as much. Like I get the whole vibe for the mats, and I'm like, for that reason, I'm like, yeah. But then I'm also like, ugh. Once I'm inside, it kind of kills the whole like. It just doesn't seem as fun. Like when I was inside at one point, I was like, it's just not as fun, right? Is it like just swinging on like a
It can be
box?
useful for like learning
Yeah,
something new for the
yeah.
fird time.
100%,
But it
100. But
it
like
does get
actually
boring.
doing it, it's just so much more boring. Like it's just like, because then
Yeah,
it's just like it feels like I'm at the gym, right? Like that's literally. I feel like I'm just doing training rather than like playing. If that makes like when you do football or rugby training and then you actually play a match, you feel differently because not only is the environment different, there's something like there's an added factor of whether it's fear, competitiveness that makes it feel like it's the real thing. Whereas like in the gym, I just feel like it's always just the training thing and never the real. I don't know. I don't even do it, but that's
yeah.
just yeah. Maybe I'm capping.
No, I know what you're saying.
182.9. Beautiful. All right, cool. Um, Beautiful.
What in as you fuck is happening there?
Yeah, cool. That actually works. So we get the width, but beautiful. So now we know how far you travel between once you land and when the end of the animation. We can now see, well, if our surface width is within that range, Gucci. Because then it's not even a case of it has to be like, are you sticking? You can still take a step, right? Because you might be wide enough. It's just actually hyper specific. Let's keep it cancelled for rather than ledge length being greater than surface width. Let's say if true. No, very true. Very true. Very, very true. Very true. I think I think for someone like me, they're almost vital, right? Like I can't just go out into concrete and just start trying to flip or Kong or precision off a roof, right? Uh, that's the thing.
Yeah, but you can like low level stuff. You can learn outside. You can
Oh
start.
yeah, 100%. I'd like to as well. Like I think I could do with like some like within a day or two. I think I could get most like a couple volts and like general movement down, right? Like
I think you'd get them down in a day. I reckon.
yeah, because I can about muscle up. So in terms of like the wall pops, I think there's a lot of technique stuff. Um,
I mean,
I
muscle ups
feel
are hard as hell, dude. I can't do
yeah,
muscle ups anymore.
yeah. So I feel like technique maybe, but then it's also. I think the biggest thing I'm gonna have to is the mental. Because I remember like being a kid, it's easier, right? You just fucking send it. But then now I'm
Yeah,
just like, oh, but
but
my
I
AC
mean,
joints,
that
my
never really
knees.
goes. To be fair,
Yeah,
you just get better at managing it.
yeah,
Or worse, if you have a break for a long time.
yeah. That's what I mean.
Do you know, that's one of the most fascinating things that I've noticed in Storror videos when like they'll have like a string of videos where they do like a load of rooftop stuff and they're all good. They've got their eye in that, and then they'll do a string of stuff on the ground, and then they'll get like to another video where there's them up high, and they're like, "Oh shit, I haven't done roof stuff in months. I don't know how to eyeball this anymore," and they have to
Mm.
like relearn the judgment.
It's
It's wild.
it's it's well, I think one of my along the lines of that. I think my favorite thing about the Stora guys is that they really show the mental side of parkour, which is
Yeah,
um, such a huge element. Like even the recent one with like uh, Benjamin Max, the caveman behind the scenes. I watched that. I love
ah,
that video.
that was
It was
wild.
like the trampoline. It doesn't. I don't know why when I watched it, I was like, that's sick. But you don't actually clock how techy and how dangerous that is until I actually saw them up there with a closer shot, and then I was like,
Mm.
yo, what the like? It actually
It,
sunk in. I was like, yo, that
it's
shit
how
crazy.
fast Benj goes down it from the POV, like how
Yeah,
fast he's
it's
sliding.
ridiculous. When Max did when landed and did the flip, I was like, yo, like
Yeah,
you really could have died. Like if you just flip the wrong, like you know what I mean, your weight momentum is the wrong way, and you slide and you fall, and you really could be dying, bro. It's just
could
like,
be.
and you could see in his face he was shook up. Like the second he was like, like you could see he was like the bit where he laid back and like was like, oh, I was like, yo, you're you're bricking it, but I was like, fair. And he just goes and sends it again. But like that is such a like that for me is what makes parkour so cool. Like it's the mental,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. That trampoline is messed. Yeah, that's mad. That is Saris, man. But that's why I love that. It's so cool because they always find way to advance their content, right? Which it's not just the physical stuff, right? There's a lot of store content really like leans towards the mental side of parkour with like the balance challenges, the hang challenges, like, and that's why their content is for me is the best because it is like they're doing crazy shit like physically, right? They're flipping off cat pass hole, they're doing really cool stuff, but then they level it up with the mental part of it and then the like
Yeah,
challenge based
100%.
part of it and like the goal part of it, and it's just yeah, it's just at the top of the game for it, honestly. Um, okay, so let's say const auto current surface width, um, ledge surface. Let's do the calculation here for now. We can move it to the trace manager. Um, let's
Payments, right?
go
Fine.
get ledge trace data dot ledge location. Oh no, I need to.
Why is that just picking a random number every time?
Ooh.
Oh, set me to do that. That makes sense if it does.
Let me say calculate this. Oh no, I need to.
No. What?